You have probably done this before. You open a flat-pack furniture box, and somewhere in the plastic bag of small parts, there is a tiny L-shaped piece of metal with no handle, moving parts, or obvious grip. You tighten a few bolts, the furniture holds together, and the tool goes into a drawer where it will sit for years alongside every other Allen wrench you have accumulated. Almost nothing else in your toolbox has a person's name. The screwdriver is not called the Robertson. The hammer is not the Thompson. But this small L-shaped tool carries a name that has stuck for more than 100 years across dozens of countries and industries, long after most people forgot who Allen was. That question has a more interesting answer than the tool suggests. Let's get into it right here on Small Things. Six sides, one idea. Pick up an Allen wrench and look at the end of it. The cross-section is a perfect hexagon, 6 flat sides, evenly spaced, running the entire length of the tool. There is nothing else to the design. No spring, no ratchet, no adjustment. Just a piece of steel with 6 flat sides that fits into a matching 6-sided recess in the head of a screw. That fit is the entire idea. Everything about why this tool became a global standard comes from what happens when those 6 sides meet the 6 walls of the socket, which requires going back to a time when the alternative was causing serious problems in factories across America. The tool that got named after a safety problem. In the early 1900s, factories in the United States were running faster and harder than anything that had existed before. Machines were being built for automobiles, bicycles, and industrial equipment, and everything had to be held together with screws. The screw available at the time was the slotted head screw, a single straight groove across the top of the screw, turned with a flat blade screwdriver. It worked, mostly, but factories run under pressure, and under pressure, slotted screws had problems that nobody was fully solving. The driver could slip out of the slot. When it did, the blade could tear across the work surface, strip the screw head beyond use, or slide into the hand of the worker holding the part in place. Workers doing repetitive fastening work knew this feeling well. The lurch of a driver jumping its groove, the ruined screw, the cut. There was also a torque problem. The deeper you tried to drive a slotted screw, the more likely the driver was to come out, to ride up out of the slot rather than turning it further. You could not apply the force that modern machinery increasingly needed without losing control of the tool. A company called the Allen Manufacturing Company in Hartford, Connecticut, was paying attention. In 1910, an engineer named William G. Allen filed a patent for a new kind of screwhead, a recessed hexagonal socket instead of a slot. The tool to turn it was the simple L-shaped hex key. Allen's company called it the Allen Safety Screw Wrench. The word safety was not marketing language. It described something the old slotted system genuinely could not offer, a fastening method where the driver could not slip, could not jump the recess, and could not slide into the hand of the worker holding the part in place. American factories adopted it with the speed that only happens when something solves a problem people have been absorbing as the cost of doing business for years. Machine shops ordered the new screws. Manufacturers started designing to the hex socket standard. The name Allen wrench attached itself to the product and traveled with it into every industry that used it. By the time a second company might have contested the name, Allen's product was already embedded in American manufacturing practice. The name was already becoming the category. Why 6 sides changes everything? The reason the hex key works comes down to contact and geometry. 6 flat surfaces in full contact with 6 socket walls means the force distributes evenly around the full circumference of the screw head. There is nowhere for the key to go except to turn the screw. The geometry of the fit means the tool actually locks into the socket more securely the harder you apply force, which is the opposite of what happens when a flat blade tries to lift out of a slot. The L shape is doing two separate jobs in one piece of metal. The short arm gives you high torque. Holding it close to the bend means less mechanical advantage, which means more rotational force transmitted to the screw per degree of turn. The long arm gives you reach. When a screw is recessed inside a machine frame and you cannot get your hand close to it, the long arm extends your access without requiring a second tool. The same piece of steel, held two different ways, solves two different problems. There is a third advantage that became more important as machines got smaller. A hex socket screw head can be made significantly more compact than a slotted screw head. The slot has to be wide enough to accept a blade, which sets a minimum size for the head. A hex socket concentrates the driving contact into a much smaller footprint, which lets engineers use smaller fasteners in tighter spaces without losing the ability to apply full torque. As electronics, medical devices, and precision machinery all shrank through the 20th century, this property made the hex socket increasingly attractive beyond the factory floor. Today, hex key sizes are standardized internationally. A hex key made in Japan to metric specification and one made in Germany to the same specification are interchangeable. You can buy a bicycle in Seoul, lose the included hex key, and replace it with one purchased in Amsterdam. The geometry is the same everywhere because the international engineering standards that govern it are the same everywhere. Allen did not invent the hex socket. Most people assume the Allen wrench is called that because Allen invented it, the way Fleming discovered penicillin or Newton named gravity. The tool bears a name, so someone must have made it first. The history is messier than that. Engineers in Europe were developing recessed hexagonal socket designs at roughly the same time as Allen manufacturing. The hexagonal socket screw was not a single breakthrough. It was an idea several people were working toward simultaneously in different countries, arriving at similar solutions independently. What Allen Manufacturing did was reach the American market first and build a large enough customer base that no competitor could unseat the name before it solidified. That is a commercial achievement, not an engineering one, and the tool would carry a different name today if a European company had won that race instead. Here is the part most people in North America do not realize. In most of the world, this tool is not called an Allen wrench at all. The standard name in engineering, manufacturing, and international trade is hex key. A mechanic in Germany, a factory worker in Japan, and a bicycle technician in Brazil all use the identical tool and call it a hex key or its local equivalent. The name Allen wrench is primarily a North American phenomenon, a product of which company got there first, in which market. The tool is global. The name is local. That gap exists because naming follows market adoption, not invention. From factory floors to living room floors, the Allen wrench spent the first half of the 20th century in factories, workshops, and bicycle repair shops, a professional tool bought because you worked with machinery. That changed when flat-pack furniture arrived and put one in every home, whether people wanted it or not. IKEA and similar companies needed a fastening system that an ordinary person with no tools could use to assemble a piece of furniture at home. The hexagonal socket screw was ideal. The driver could not slip, the assembly was nearly impossible to do wrong, and the key itself was so cheap to manufacture that it could be included in the packaging at almost no cost. A household with no tools suddenly had a hex key, whether they wanted one or not. This is why there is almost certainly an Allen wrench in your kitchen drawer right now, alongside several others from furniture you assembled years ago. The tool made the jump from professional workshop to domestic life not because people sought it out, but because it arrived with the furniture and proved so easy to use that the design justified itself every time. Bicycle manufacturers had been using hex sockets for decades before furniture made it domestic. Today, hex key sets are standard in aerospace assembly, medical device manufacturing, robotics, and anywhere that requires strong, precise fastening in a small package. The International Organization for Standardization has published exact specifications for hex keys in both metric and imperial sizes. A hex key manufactured to those specs in Japan and one manufactured in Germany are interchangeable globally. Still in the drawer. That small L-shaped tool in your drawer carries a name from a specific factory in a specific city at a specific moment when slotted screws were failing workers and someone needed to do better. The six-sided socket was going to exist regardless. The problem it solved was real. Slotted screws were slipping, stripping, and injuring workers in factories running harder than anything built before. Allen Manufacturing fixed it in America first, and their name became attached to the solution. If a German company had reached American factories first, you would be looking for your Miller key in that drawer. The tool would be identical, the name entirely different. What you hold when you pick it up is the answer to a problem that needed solving, wearing the name of whoever got there first. If this changed the way you look at the next Allen wrench you find at the bottom of a drawer, let us know in the comments what you want us to explore next. We might make it our next episode. Thanks for watching. History often hides in the smallest details.